Hello everyone, welcome to CoreChamp's online Blender tutorial. So in this video we are going to learn how to make a destruction of a cube using this Blender software. So first of all we will start with our very basic cube, that is by default cube present in our Blender. First of all we will lift up our cube and get it to the level of this work plane. So to do this, press G on your keyboard and then press Z to lift it up on the surface. Okay, so now you can see whichever key I am pressing. Now we will add one plane. To add a plane, press Shift and A and then scale it up and type 10 on your numpad. That means now it has been 10 times bigger plane. Now to make a breaking or a destruction system, first of all you have to enable your cell from the add-on of this Blender. To do that, go to the edit. In the preference menu, you will be seeing an add-ons option, and under this add-ons search cell and then check mark your object cell fracture. Alright, so now your cell has been activated. Now we will be using anodot tool to mark the linings for the breaking structure. For that you will be selecting our anodot tool from this menu, and then we will hide our plane because we don't want to mark lines on this plane surface. So now we will be using this tool and marking lines. Like currently this line has been passing through it, so we will be changing its placement from 3D cursor to the surface. That means our line will be now marked on the surface of this cube only. So you can mark these lines according to the requirement, whichever suits you, because currently we are making a cube which will be breaking from this corner. So that means the maximum parts should be made on this corner edge that we want to break. So make sure you add maximum number of endnotes in this corner only, and also expand it to the other sides of your cube. Make sure that you are cracking each and every part of this cube, so whenever you will be breaking you get maximum destructions out of this cube. Alright, so now I think we are having enough destructions available. So what we will do is we will be selecting our cube. To select, use this menu and select the cube. As you can see, there is an orange line outside. Now press F3 from your keyboard and type cell in the search section, and there will be cell fracture selected object mesh out there. And in this menu you can choose anodot pencil from the point source, and under the source limit section you can choose 150 source limit, and in the recursion type 1 because we need only one number of the recursion. And then in the collection part you can type break pieces or just pieces or fragments, whichever key term suits you. Like I will write pieces because these will be the pieces of this cube, and then press OK. As you can see, these pieces have been started breaking according to the nodes we have drawn. Alright, so now we will be it will take some time to get complete. the more number of error nodes will be causing this type of action. Alright, as you can see that we have number of PCs already shown on our cube, but you can see few flickerings around this cube. This is because that the original cube has already been selected. So to get rid of that, you can hide your cube. We'll be hiding our cube from this section like this. Alright, so now the flickering is gone. Next part is we will be deleting our inner nodes because we already having cracks, so we can remove these blue lines. To do that, go to the inner node setting, the top bar, click on node, and then select the node which is present, and then press the minus button. That means remove inner node layer. Now the line has been gone. Now we can unhide our plane because this will be our passive plane on which this cube will get broken out. Now we have to select any piece, so you can just select any piece from this cube, and now we will go to the physics tab, physics properties. Under this, go to the rigid body, and then the type has already been active. Mass 1 kg is fine, we can change it later. Go to the surface response and increase its friction. You can increase its friction up to in between 0.7 to 0.8 because the friction will be giving us better view of this braking surface. As if the friction will be less, the pieces will be slipping over each other. So you must have added friction in between 0.7 to 0.8. Alright, so now what we need is we have to apply this same friction setting for all of the pieces. But as you can see, there are a number of pieces, so we can't select each pieces and change the friction accordingly, but you can do it. So we will be using one shortcut. So as we already know that these all cubes are under one section, that is our PCs section. So we will select the PCs out here, press right click over it, and then select objects. So now all the PCs have been selected, and the piece on which we have applied our physics layer has been turned to the orange outline. Rest of all are in dark orange, or you can say red color structure. So now we will apply this setting to all the pieces. For that we will be going to the object menu. Under the object menu there is rigid body, and then copy from the active. Click here, and now the friction setting has been applied to all of these pieces. Now we will be selecting our plane. Again we will be going to the physics properties under the rigid body section. Here we will be changing it to passive, type the passive, and again we will be changing its friction to the 0.7. Anything between 0.7 to 0.8. So now our friction has also been applied on the plane surface and on the cube as well. So now we can start our simulation. I will just lift up this timeline and I will press spacebar now. As you can see, we've got a beautiful piece of destruction out here, and this cube has been destructing in the number of pieces the same way we have drawn on our using our anode out tool. So well, it looks currently very nice. So next part is we will be adjusting its mass, because currently if you will selecting each piece, the mass in the settings is already 1 kg. So even the smaller piece is of 1 kg and the bigger piece is also of 1 kg. But in the actual reality, the size of the piece determines the mass of the piece. So we will be changing the mass according to its size. For that, we will be selecting any one piece. And then we will be going to the object menu. Under the object menu again, rigid body, and here it's calculate mass. After the calculate mass, you will get one option like whichever thing is your cube made of. In this you have number of options like beans, brick, brass, bronze, carbon. So let's choose brick pressed here. Like currently we assume that this cube is made up of brick. After that, now we want something to break this cube. For that, we can get one sphere out here. But before adding the sphere, we will be again changing its dynamics a little bit. So let's select one piece out here. You can choose any piece. Go to the physics tab and enter the dynamics section. We have to deactivate it and then start activate it. That means now it will not break automatically, as I have already said that we need something to break this cube. We don't want this cube to break automatically. So after applying the deactivation settings here, we have to paste it for the all segments. Again we will be selecting the pieces, like select objects. We will go to the object and rigid body section. Under the rigid body we will select copy from the active. Now this deactivation has also been applied to all of the pieces, but this copy has caused the change in its mass. Like now each piece has again turned to 1 kg mass. So again we will be changing its mass accordingly. Again we will be going to the object menu, as these pieces are already been selected, into the rigid body, calculate mass, and then again we will be choosing brick pressed. Now the mass has also been changed, that dynamics has also been changed for each part. Now the next thing is we will be adding one object which will be helping us to break this cube. For that we can add one sphere. So we will be adding one UV sphere. We will lift it up a little bit. You can scale it accordingly. This much size is fine. Now adjust the cube on the one edge on which you want to break your cube. Alright, now it's fine. Now what we will do is we will expand it away from the impact, like currently it's in the impact position. So we will take it away from the impact, like this much is fine. Now we will go to the object properties for this cube, and then we will add one keyframe for this particular location. So in the object menu section there is the first part, that is location. So press right click and then insert keyframe. So on the number 1 keyframe we have applied this keyframe, like currently the position of the cube is here. Now in the next step we will be moving our sphere forward through our cube. Let's first move our keyframe to the 40 number frame. Now we can change its position. Let's check whether it is passing through it. Yes, it's passing through it. Okay, now This position seems fine. Now we can again add keyframe onto the same position. So whenever you will be now moving your timeline bar, your sphere will be passing through it, but currently it's not affecting our cube because we haven't applied any physics setting to this sphere. Okay, so now select the sphere, and then we will be going to the physics properties. Under the physics properties, again rigid body type should be active because we want this cube to be moving. Now click on the animated. Now we have to simulate it. We are currently in animated condition. The Blender physics tells this cube that it should be moving along with the timeline and will act on this cube. Okay, so now after playing it, as you can see that this cube is breaking this sphere is breaking this cube. But currently, as you can see, this cube is just moving in a straight line, which is practically not possible. So we will be changing some settings for this cube movement also to make it more realistic. For that, first of all, we have to move this cube at the time of the collision. So let's move this timeline. Okay, so on this, like on this keyframe, this cube is just about to collide with the cube. Now we will be inserting a keyframe on the animation. Go to the animated bar, which has already been ticked out here. Press right click and then insert keyframe. So on the number 17 pin, the keyframe has been inserted. Now we will be moving one keyframe forward, and then again deselect this animation and insert keyframe again. Alright, so now let's replay this thing from the frame number 1. As you can see, this cube is being acting on this sphere is acting on this cube. Like whenever it gets collide, the cube is also putting some force on this sphere. But currently it is not putting some lot of damage on this cube because the weight of this sphere is just 1 kg. So we have to increase its weight. Let's put 100 kg. Yes, now it's destroying a little bit more. Let's increase its weight a bit more. Instead of 100, let's put 1000 kg. Yeah, now it's quite fascinating that this sphere is destroying this cube very properly. Alright, so that's how you can make your braking animation possible. I hope you like this video. If you like this video, please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the bell icon. Thank you and have a nice time.